Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Goddess Chat Wednesday.
Yeah. Excited.
Yes.
I've been
Yes.
saying that word excited a lot.
Oh,
There is a podcast that I listen to who the woman explores the goddess and all kinds of things. And she says, I'm soul excited instead of and I thought, I am going to hang on. I'm soul excited.
Yay, that is so wonderful.
Well, planning a major adventure travel experience, and the discussion with my travel agent, she's like, I'm so excited for this, I'm so excited. And I recorded just a little teaser Facebook Live, whatever, to talk about the podcast I was going to do about this. And I said, if you're into drinking games, every time I say the word excited, this might be the podcast for you, because by the time you finish this, you will be probably heavily intoxicated.
Oh, that's so funny. That's great.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this
this week's goddess.
Yeah. How are we? Salule. Let's go with that. Salule. Solar. She's a sun goddess.
Yeah. Beautiful. Bring the light.
I know, bringing the light. We're using a different reference now. We're going into some known and some not known. This particular sun goddess generates from Latvia, in that area. So that's a part of the world that we've not really explored too much. However, I think it's exciting that we can explore the feminine energies that arise from all over the world. And it just kind of gives me the sense that this is ours. This is global. This is probably otherworldly. Who knows what entities have come to this world in different places with the same message we're all carrying. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about her story for a moment, and her message. Her message of family healing is the central message that we have found with her, correct?
Yeah. In my research, actually, for her, there were a lot of different dynamics. However, we just can boil it down to family dynamics and something that was extremely hurtful and traumatic that happens in your family with another family member, whether feel like you've been wronged or you have been, to something extreme, or just a regular family dynamic where you're just at opposition with one another, and you're hurting each other by that. And it's like I think we were discussing before we started recording, it could be a generational thing, something that you've carried on through. I think a lot of times that's what it is. And it's playing out now, where it really wasn't ours in the present, but it was something in the
and so the subject of healing, healing is truly the message here. And it's, a few years back when I started really diving into this journey with my own self-healing, the concept of when you heal a generational disharmony that has been going on for decades, you actually have the ability to heal 7 years forward and 7 years back within your family energies. And that is a powerful awareness to have, to think that the things that were passed down through beliefs and actions and ways of being from one generation to the next, and then you're like, it stops here. The buck stops here. I'm not carrying this forward.
Right.
And we've talked about this within our goddess tribe, about how um, it it feels interesting to look at it, but each generation is trying to do the best they can, right? And so I look at my son and I go, oh gosh, these are all the things that I did that were learned behaviors, and I'm doing my best to shift them. But I also know that I can see some of that disharmony still within his own actions and beings. So the more that I can work on healing it within myself, the more of a representation of a healthy adult I can be for him. And hopefully he can carry forward and shift even more of that that family trauma.
Right.
Because
Right.
we are, we're all going to carry something forward from our childhood. It just depends upon how are we going to let it play out in our life. And so for me, this message of shine the light on the trauma, shine the light on the pain, shine the light on the darkness. That's where I feel like this goddess is really showing me, that message of, if you shine a light on what's out of alignment and love it into healing, then you can shift the energy for your whole family.
Yeah. If you've experienced some trauma in your family, it doesn't mean that you have to carry it. It's not necessarily true. If you're used to a lot of anger, and then that's how people express themselves, their fears come out, and doesn't mean that you have to respond that way going forward. You can choose to love. And so like you were saying with your son, if you are healing yourself, and because we internalize from our family dynamic, like, it's carried through. Sometimes our reactions are automatic because that's just what we experienced as a child or through the generations. And that, but you can say, okay, I choose not to react this way. Or
even if you did react to it, you can, like, one of the things that I learned with my son is, if I become reactionary and I come back to him and I'm like, you know what, that was wrong, mommy shouldn't have done that, that wasn't right. I can remember doing when he was smaller. Like, I would have those impulse reactions, but then I would come back and address my part in it. And that's, for me, that's what I took from my life of, carrying forward that disharmony, was what have I done to heal it? And what I did to heal it is I would take ownership if I was doing something that was out of alignment with my truth.
Right. And that sets the example for other family members of people that is okay to accept that maybe you did something, I don't know, wrong or that, I don't know, that right or wrong, but harmful. Yeah. And that when that person going forward, like you going forward, recognize that, and maybe that would be how you would treat another situation. So he may go into a situation later on where he reacts, or it'll be like, what would mom do? I don't know.
And another aspect of this that we talked about, and we've been talking about it, we talked about it at our goddess retreat recently, is when there's disharmony in your current family dynamic relationships. And I'm not saying just within your household, I'm saying your extended families, right? So maybe it's
even how you relate to others.
Whatever. That when we take the path of healing and acknowledging we need support, and we have these relationships that are out of alignment, or they're non-existent, like they've been cut off, right? We are given these other relationships with other beings, and in what we were discussing was other women, that kind of fill that void of feeling of loss with those connections with those people. And what a gift it is to be able to have another person that maybe falls in the generation of your mother, that, you know, you're not getting along with your mother, but you have this other person that's come into your life that's generationally in the same age, and can feed your soul in such a way that you know that you're not wrong for feeling the way you feel. It's just you're out of alignment with that actual parent, right? Or daughter or sister or what have you. So there's these gifts that come out of choosing to heal, because when we stop participating in the chaos, it does feel like a loss, because we're like, I just don't want to participate in the chaos anymore. Why does it mean I have to lose this relationship? But in truth, it's not even so much a loss. It's just right now it's not in alignment, and who knows what will happen.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, here's some beautiful souls to carry you through, and to show you, and to be a light upon your darkness, and maybe talk you through it in a way that you can see a different vantage point, right?
Yeah, there's a power in that sacred sisterhood, that identification, just the being heard, because maybe that's just what you need, is like, I'm feeling this, and we don't heal in a vacuum. We really do. As divine feminine, as I talk about, is that being, you just want to be heard and acknowledged and held in that loving space, however it is. And you, like you said, if you feel like there's a loss in a certain relationship, then others come in to fill that void,
and to raise you up and support
and
you.
raise you up and support you. Right.
And that's such a magical thing.
It is.
So we are grateful to this goddess for reminding us that shining a light on things that are pain points is not bad, and being able to step into it with love and gratitude and an intention of healing. That is where the gift is, right?
Right. And believe that you can heal. Sometimes we get stuck in that trauma, that victim, and we think, I will never get out of this. It's always going to be this way. Every time, the definition of insanity, I go into this thinking it's going to be different this time, and it never you break out of that cycle.
Right.
So we can heal. We don't have to stay stuck in that.
Yeah. Yes, goddess.
Yes. Don't stay stuck. Well, that was one reason we created this container, this group, this sisterhood, to support one another and offer that sacred space and that container for you to grow and evolve and shine your light, follow your heart, all those beautiful things.
Yes.
Goddess.
Well, with that, we will bid you adieu, and hope that you find some ideas and inspiration and awarenesses here for your own journey of self-healing. This week, we will have our new moon circle this evening, so come check it out if you would like to join us. And with that, we bid you adieu. Namaste.
Namaste.